Welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be going over a Panerai, an interesting Panerai indeed. It is a 1950 equation of time, initially released in 2016. This one's made entirely in titanium with a tobacco colored dial, 47 millimeters. And we'll be going over the case, the dial, a bit about the bezel, the crown functions, as well as this little interesting crown guard, the movement, as well as the strap here, and I'll be giving you my thoughts on all of those throughout the video. All right, now starting off with the case, we have 47 millimeters. That's sort of like the overall diameter that you can sort of measure here. Basically from finger to thumb, all right? It's 18.2 millimeters thick at the thickest point, and 57.3 millimeters I measured lug to lug, with a 26 millimeter lug span between lugs. So if you have 26 millimeter straps, you can just switch them out relatively easily. All right, so now looking at this case here, we have a satin finish across just about every single surface here. All right, taking a look very closely at every single side of this case. All right, we also have a sapphire case back, as well as a sapphire crystal on front. This one on the front is much more bubbled out, sort of harkening back to the older, like, military style watches that Panerai had been releasing for, you know, their own Italian army. Okay. Now, looking also at this bezel, we have a smooth domed bezel, entirely polished, high polish all the way around. All right, so not much more else to say there other than that it is, you know, still also titanium. This is an incredibly light watch. All right, now looking at this crown guard also on the side of the case, we also have a lever to allow you to effectively put, what it does is that it allows you to, you know, do all the adjustments that you require with the crown. Then when you're done, you can close the lever, and then you'll know that certainly that the crown is in its like first main position without any issues. And also this crown guard keeps it fully protected. There's hardly any way that you can possibly damage this crown, aside from, you know, very, very fringe instances where it just, yeah, just very, very fringe instances. Okay, now looking closely at this dial, we have a lot going on here. This is the tobacco style dial. It's currently discontinued, all right, but you can still get it from us at jazztime.com. Links in the description below to buy it. Okay, now this dial is quite interesting. It comes with two separate layers. The bottom layer being an entirely loomed layer, a super luminova layer. That's actually a grade A. Now, they boast that it has over 30% more luminescent length of time than the standard, you know, say super luminova of other watches. All right, now I'm not going to test that here because that would take quite a long time and it'd probably take up the entire rest of this video. But anyway, I'll just demonstrate it right here. I can turn out the lights and you can see that it's exceptionally bright. You can see it very well, and I'm looking at my monitor here and it's actually clipping my highlights on this video. It's extremely bright and it lasts for a long time. You can see every single hand on here is loomed, including even the tiny parts of this dial, the sub-dials as well as the little notation on the equation of time in relation to the 6. That's how you can measure it in the dark. Now, a little bit more on that in a second. All right, once I turn this light on. Okay, now we can talk about how all of this works. Now, all of the functionality is tied in with the watch dial here. Now, if you're wondering like what all of this stuff means, well, we're going to go over that right now. Okay, so let me actually move all of this stuff out of the way because I want to focus on these subdials first. So we have the subdial on the right. Typically, you would see this many subdials on a chronograph, but right here we have an interesting subdial. Now, what is this? Let me actually move this hand out of the way, and to do so I'm actually advancing that tiny subdial very, very slowly, incredibly slowly. This might take the rest of the video to do so, but let me do it just enough so that you can actually see what it is. And if you're astute enough, you may actually figure out what exactly this is. Now, if I can get the angle just right where you can actually see, now you can't actually see it underneath. But what's effectively at the 12 o'clock position of that small subdial at the 3 o'clock position is a letter D, all right? And then at the 3 o'clock, you have an M, 6 o'clock, you have a J, 9 o'clock, you have an S. Now, what does that mean? That effectively all denotes the months of the year, because you have 12 hours on a clock, 12 months in a year. So you can actually use the same exact type of dial at the 3 o'clock position. So using that in conjunction with the date at the 4 o'clock position, you can easily determine what month you are in, all right? And the only way to actually set that is to move the hour hand forward or backward, depending on where you are in the year. Now, this only really works in, English and some other languages, like say, December, March, June, and September. But you can also say, diciembre, marzo, julio, y septiembre in Spanish, but not very many other languages, maybe other, romantic, Roman or Latin-based languages, perhaps. Okay, anyway, so that's the small subdial at 3 o'clock. The subdial at the 9 o'clock is related to your GMT hand, which you can actually hide underneath your main hour hand, as you can see there, all right? And this one denotes your second time zone, which you can set by using the minute hand, all right? And since it follows the same pace of the hour hand, that's what this subdial is for. This one actually denotes the AM and the PM based on the GMT hand, as you can see, because the GMT hand does still trail, in this case, behind the hour hand. You can move it ahead of the hour hand, or you can move the hour hand behind and have it, have the hour hand then trail the GMT hand. It all depends on how you want to set it, all right? Now, finally, we can look at this equation of time at the very bottom here. What this is it actually shows you how to, add or subtract up to 15 minutes either way between civil time, which is what you have on your watch here, and solar time, which is effectively measuring where the sun is in the sky in relation to you. Now, technically, it's the Earth rotating on its own axis, revolving around the sun, but I'm not going to go into all of that astronomy detail. But effectively, this equation of time at the bottom, at the 6 o'clock position, allows you to subtract up to 15 minutes or add up to 15 minutes, depending on where you are in the world and depending on the time of year. So it is exactly at 0 4 times a year, right? Depending on, what time of the year it is. So you can use that using civil time, displayed directly on the dial here, and use this equation to just subtract or add a few minutes, and then you'll get the actual solar time. Not too terribly useful in everyday situations, but it's nice to have. Maybe you're an astronomer, or you work in the astronomy industry, or maybe you just like doing, I don't know, daytime photography, and you need to know exactly, the exact solar time. Well, this is a good tool for you. And when it comes to interesting tools, we can also take a look at this one on the back. This entire watch is a manual movement. There's no automatic winding rotor here, but this allows you to actually have this day indicator, however, how many days you have in the power reserve, and it goes up to 8 days, all right? So right now we're at about a 5-day power indication or power reserve, which is very, very incredibly useful. And also, let me turn out the lights again, and you'll note that the little hand indicating the day also glows. Is that useful? Well, sort of. It's nice to have, but I wouldn't say it's too terribly useful because you can't really read the numbers very easily in the dark. But, it's just Panerai being Panerai, doing Panerai things. Okay, now what is this movement? This movement is the P.2002/E caliber. Now the P2002 caliber is the base. The E is what allows you to have the equation of time on it. All right, so what it is, it's a very interesting caliber. Oh my god. Okay, so it's made in-house by Panerai, 13 3/4 lines, 8.3 millimeters thick, only has 31 joules, surprisingly. It has a vibration per hour rating of 28,800, or in other words 4 Hertz, so it is a high beat watch. You'll get that precision with this watch. It has KIF parashock anti-shock absorbers, so not too terribly, the highest quality, but it will get you through the day. There's no chance that, standard bumps will affect the timekeeping of this watch. Altogether, it has 328 components and a power reserve of 8 days, as I just indicated right here. And as you can see as well, it also says 8 days. And it also has 3 barrels. That means there's 3 separate mainsprings charged up by the winding of the crown on here, right? And actually, let me go over the crown functions as well, since I haven't actually gone over them. All right, so in order to do anything with the crown, you can disengage the lever, right? And at this default position, you can use it to just simply wind the watch very easily. You don't even need to pull the crown out. Okay, now pull the crown out to the first or the second position technically, and you can use the hour hand and move it around. And by extension, you can also change the date, as you can see at the 4 o'clock position. All right, it's also sort of an unrestricted date setting, as of course, it's not a rapid date setting, so you can do it at any time. And doing so actually does not change your seconds hand. As you can see, the small seconds at the 9 o'clock position is still going around the dial just perfectly fine. All right. So anyway, that is the hour hand. Now pull it out to the final position, and also take a look at what's going to happen here at the 9 o'clock position. That seconds hand just went straight to 0, and that will allow you to move the minute hand as well as the hour hand and the GMT hand, should you so desire. And you can then set the time precisely. Or actually, you can use this to move the GMT hand, because you can move the hour hand independently, right? So you can use this function to move the GMT hand and then set the minute hand, and then simply just press it all back in, and there you go. It starts up the seconds hand again, and then you can just go back and move the hour hand to any position desired. All right, so very, very good use here. All right, and the equation of time will just set itself automatically, and that's all based off of this effectively what is an annual calendar directly on this watch. This has a whole lot going on it. All right, now on to the strap here. We have this leather strap, alligator leather on top. We also have a very nice sort of like beige, almost yellow stitching going all the way down. Very, very tasteful overall framing here with the pin buckle style. Also in titanium with the Panerai logo on across the buckle there. All right, with these holes for on the fly sizing. All right, and now while we're here, I can try it on my wrist, and I'm just going to take a stab at it, almost literally. Let's just go to the 3rd pin. All right, and now on the wrist. This is absolutely a huge watch. Again, this one is a 47 millimeter watch. Already the diameter is gigantic. 57.3 millimeter lug span. That's not counting the strap, and it's gigantic. It's a chunker, and this is certainly a watch that definitely echoes sort of like the industrial sort of aesthetic. The type of person who would wear this probably I would say this is also a timeless sort of watch. There's no real era that this one can really be tied to, other than the early 50s, well, the 1950 equation of time, that's what it's called. So it would be, tied to the 50s, but also it has that modern take of having just so much going on with this, so much function, so much use out of this. All right. The fact that you have a leather strap makes this incredibly light, and with the titanium, you can barely tell that there's a watch on here, but the titanium is a bit heavier than the leather. Go figure, because it is metal. So it's not like you're swinging a ball and chain around, but it is a noticeable heft on the wrist. Now, you may want to be careful if you're used to wearing, say, steel or even gold watches. This one is significantly larger. So be careful of scratching this crystal. Even though it is sapphire, the only thing that can possibly actually damage this would be pure diamond, but you can never be too safe. All right, so don't smack this on anything because it is quite a large boy. It's 18 millimeters thick at its thickest, so be very careful with that. Other than that, it's a very comfortable fit actually. Even though these lugs are kind of pointing outward, they're very likely to catch onto corners, doorknobs and such, but they do provide that little bit of extra breathing underneath that leather strap. So you have a very good ventilation sort of system going on here, even though the rest of the strap will probably, well, make you sweat a little bit on very hot days. But you can always just size it on the fly, make it a little bit looser and loosen it up a bit, move it around on your wrist. However, that's the one great appeal of having this sort of strap on here. All right, so anyway, that's all of my thoughts. What are your thoughts on this watch? Let us know down in the comments below. Be sure to like this video as it really helps us out, and also subscribe if you haven't already. You can see other videos like this one when they go live, especially when you hit that bell notification. You'll get that notification right when it happens. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, visit us in our online store, jazztime.com. Links in the description below, and we'll see you in the next one.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.